welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video. My name is Amelia and I upload book content such as reading vlogs and all the booktube content you can think of. That's just what I try to upload. Before we get into this video, first of all I'm going to address the fact that I sound a bit nasally and a bit... So I've got a sore throat and I'm a bit bunged up. I've got a cold. I've caught the cold that's going around, so we have to deal. But here we are. We're still filming a video because I've got to get a video up next week and don't have one filmed yet. Without further ado, before we get into this video, please give this video, if you enjoy book content, then please give this video a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and please follow my social medias that are linked in the description below. I should pop up somewhere here. And without further ado, let's just get on with the video. Okay, so for those who don't, before we get into it, first of all, can I just say, because like I look a bit different to my last video on my channel, I have cut my hair. I had my hair cut yesterday and I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm obsessed. I've got a little bit of a fringe and yeah, it's just shorter, healthier. I love it. I'm obsessed. Gonna try to keep sniffing down, but let's just get on with this video because the quicker we get it done, the less talking I have to do. And we know I love to chat, so I'm just gonna drink into my coffee. I have got my water somewhere, it's running low though. There's not much left in it, but I'll get this down. As well, key is stay hydrated. So, let's just get on with it, because I'm excited for this video. We're talking about all the books, let me turn my TV off because I don't want to waste the electricity. We're talking about all the books that I want to read in 2024. Like, these aren't just, so, you might remember in Bookstagram I did a video of books that I need to read in 2024. And although that was not that long ago, I'm still going to do another one now that we are in 2024 of all the books that I want to read this year. We've got, I want to sneeze, 24 that are in my book journal, that if you've watched my book journal video, which would be the video before this one, you would have seen that I wrote a list of 24 books that I want to read in 2024 in this page. And I've got them here alongside a few other books that are not on that list that I really want to get to this year and actually read this year before the year is out. I probably won't stick to any of this. Like, some of these will get read, some of them won't, probably, because I am much more of a mood reader than I am a person who can stick to what I've set. But I am hoping to get this. Okay, so we're going to start with the books that are not on the 24 books of 2024, just the books that I kind of still want to get to. The first one makes no sense because I haven't read this Reckless yet, but it is a book that I'm reading like in the next 2 weeks. So, well, praying to do in the next 2 weeks. So, I'm not including it in this one because I know I'm going to read it, because I'm reading it for a specific video that's going up, hopefully on the 20th, fingers crossed. But the book is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the final book of the Chestnut Spring series. Now, although I really don't want this series to be over, I don't want to go into 2025 knowing I've still got to finish this series, because it's like I've only got 2 more books to read, and like I absolutely love the Chestnut Spring series. Like, obsessed with the Chestnut Spring series, and this is Bo's book and I cannot wait to read it. I have heard mixed reviews on this one, I will be honest. I haven't heard the greatest all the time, but I have heard some good reviews. I love it though. I love the series, so I'm really excited to see. I'm excited to see what Bo's book is like, considering where Powerless was with him, and yeah, so I'm excited for that one. Next we've got You Again by Kate Goldbeck. I wouldn't say I've heard anything about it, I've just seen people hauling it, and like, it just looks pretty. I love it, and it's, oh, what's the film? I've not watched the film, but I know it looks like, the cover looks like the film. I think it's When Harry Met Sally, like the film cover, but I'm not sure. But I'm really, really intrigued. The front bit says, fresh, witty and utterly romantic. This is deliciously offbeat, modern reimagining of When Harry Met Sally I never knew I needed. So I feel like, I don't know if I like When Harry Met Sally. I've not watched it, so I have no idea if I actually like that film. But it looks cute, I love it, and I can't wait to give it a read. So yeah. Another book I want to start, another series. Apparently I really like to get myself stuck into a series and start a series. I want to start the King of Sin series. I want to read King of Wrath by Anna Huang. I love her Twisted series, and her last one is actually in my 24 books, so we'll get to that. I really want to read this book because I really want to get into the King of Sin series because I've loved the Twisted series. I was hoping to finish the Twisted series in 2024, but I just didn't. But hopefully I will in 2025. But then I can't wait to start this series because it looks so good. I'm intrigued by it. I've heard so many good reviews on it, and I just cannot wait to find out what it's like and to see if it is as good as people are talking about. I want to read this book. This is actually my video that we're hoping to film at some point during the year. But I want to read The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I've heard this is a very emotional book. I know there's a second book out for it. I can't remember what it's called, but I've seen it in Waterstones, and to be fair, I had kept meaning to pick this up so many times, and in the end I was like, I'm going to just pick it up. And I can't wait to read it. Like I said, I've heard that it's quite emotional, so I can't wait to see if it actually is. So if you can't guess where I'm planning to read this in, like what video I'm planning to read this for, then you'll find out later in the year whenever I get to doing it. Then we have Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the final book in the Knock 'Em Out series, and I loved the first two. The second one was my favourite by far. I was hooked on it, and I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to read this one. I've heard mixed reviews because I think everyone's gone in with expectations of it being so much about Sloane and Lucian, and I mean that's what I'm expecting because each book is about the separate couples. But I've heard that it's not as much. So because I'm going into it after hearing that, I think I'm hoping to go in with the expectations that it's not going to be as good, and I'll end up loving it. But I'm excited. It's the final book, and again, it's one chunky ass book. But we all know Lucy Score loves to write chunky books, so yes. Then we do have the other one and the other 24 of this one, but I also want to finish the Never After series, what we've got so far, and I want to read Crossed by Emily McIntyre. This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame one. I want to watch the film first though, because I've not actually ever watched Hunchback of Notre Dame. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. Maybe. I just really I want to watch that before reading it because it'll give me an idea of what the characters are, because all the other thing I knew what the story was about. I went in because I knew the one story I've read so far. Like Hooked was Peter Pan, watched that, loved it. Scarred was Lion King, so I knew what I was going into. And obviously it's not the same, but like you knew what the characters kind of were based on. And the same with Wizard of Oz. But yeah, I want to read Crossed. I want to watch the film first and then read Crossed and see. I've heard this one's really good, so I'm hoping I'll like it. I'm hoping the other one I've got in there is better than Wretched, because Wretched really disappointed it for me, and I loved the first two, so hopefully we'll love this one as well. And then finally on the list of the ones that are not on my 24 books of 2024, it's Throne of the Glass by Kerry Maniscalco. Now, I had been toying with buying this book. This book is Envy. So if you've read the Kings of the Wicked trilogy, Prince Envy is one of the princes of hell, king of hell, whatever you want to call it. It's been a while since I read the book and I'm tired. But I loved that trilogy. Like it was my first fantasy book that I read was Kings of the Wicked when I got back into reading, and I was so apprehensive of going on. I actually read it for my book tube. My favourite book tube is Choose My Next Read, and Katie's reading picked it for me, and I was like, okay, I have no clue what to expect. I chose them because I knew you should give me a fantasy read, and I never read fantasy, or I had. But like a long time ago, and I just got back into reading that year, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it. And I fell in love with that trilogy. That I was like, okay, I need this book. When it was released, I was so happy. So yeah, I am excited to start this book, read this book, and look at the cover, like that, when I had the dust jacket on. But yeah, I'm very excited for this book and Envy's story, and I'm just excited to see what this one is like, and hope that I love it as much as I love the Kings of the Wicked series, because I still think about Amelia and Prince Ralph like to this day, and it's been a while since I read that book. So now we are moving on to the 24 that are in my book journal. Now I'm not doing it order what's on my book journal because I've lined it up all awkwardly. There are a few on my Kindle, so I'm going to have to make sure I look at it to remind myself which ones are on my Kindle. because they're not actually physical copies I've got, but I actually bought a few on Kindle for like 99p when it had sales, so when I read them I'll probably read them on my Kindle rather than physically, but it's fine. So I'm going to start with this pile here. Oh, look over. The first one is Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. I got this for Christmas. I know it is on Kindle Unlimited before anyone says anything, so I could read it anyway. And I would have put it on my list for 2024 either way, but I really wanted the physical copies because look how gorgeous that is. I have heard that this is not everyone's favourite book of the series that is out. The second one is people's favourite, which is The Right Move. But I have strong feelings about starting a series from the beginning rather than starting it in different orders. So yes, but I'm excited to read this one. Love the cover, can't wait. This one I'm really shocked I didn't pick up when I first picked it up, when I got it, because I pre-ordered it because I knew I wanted to read it. However, I haven't picked it up yet, and I'm disappointed in myself in some ways, but I need to read it soon. I don't know when I'm going to read it. I want to do it for a reading vlog, but I need to figure out what reading vlog I want to do it for, but it's fine. We got a whole year. I'm going to read it before, like, within the next few months I'm planning to read it, and it's Love Redesign by Lauren Asher. If you didn't know, Lauren Asher is one of my favourite authors, and I love the Dreamland Billionaire series, and this is like kind of a spin-off of that. It's a Lakefront Billionaire series, and I love a billionaire series, and I love the idea of this. Like, we were introduced to Lake Wisteria in the last book of the Final Offer, and we were also introduced to Julian in the Final Offer, so I'm so excited for his story between Julie and Dahlia, and I just cannot wait to read it. And look at this cover, it's gorgeous. I am like obsessed and cannot wait to pick this up very soon. Then I said this was coming up. We have Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. This is the final book in the Twisted series, and I need to read this. Like, I need to read this like ASAP. I was so close to putting it in a video that is coming up for you next weekend, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm actually going to start editing it today, so then when I do finish the other books, I can just get on with editing it. But yes, I nearly did, but I was like, you know what, I can't have two chunky books, and I knew I wanted to read Magnolia Parts on my way home, so I just didn't put it in there. So, Twisted Lies is definitely one of the books that I really need to read this year, because I want to finish that series. I want to wrap it up. I've heard so many good things about this one, and I know this is about an influencer, and that is kind of what I want. Like, I'm doing, I hope so, and I love to do, and I love doing social media, so it works, it kind of fits. So yeah. Then we have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book in the, I don't know what the series is called. Why can't I think what the series is called? But it's the second book after the Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I literally loved that book, and I need to read this book. Like, I need to read it. It's so good. I honestly love it so much. I cannot wait to read it. So soon I'll be picking that one up, I promise you. Then we have Things I Wanted to Say by Monica Murphy. This is the first book in the Lancaster Prep series, and I am kind of scared of it because look how chunky it is for a first book in a series. Not saying the other ones aren't. Like, the second book is also thick. The other two are a bit more reasonable. But I am excited to read this. I have heard good things about the series. Have I actually? I don't know. I think that was a lie. I don't think I've heard many people talk about this series, so I don't know. But yeah. Then we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This book was all over my booktube scene for the last 6 months of 2024, especially my favourite booktuber, Sarah Caroli. She loved this book so much, to the point where it's like, I need to read it. And I have actually got it on my Kindle now as well, because I was doing an offer for 99p on Wednesday when it was also Stuff Your Kindle Day, and I looked at Amazon and it was like 99p, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy it on my Kindle. Because the words are so small, and I'm just like, that's going to kill me, especially if I'm trying to read at night. So I will be reading a mix of both the book and my Kindle, but it is going to be coming up in a video at very soon, hopefully. I've got a very exciting video I'm going to do. It's like a part 2 of a video already done, so hopefully that will come up soon. I just need to get back in my reading mood before I put it up, because... Then we have Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This book I started when I watched the film, and I fell in love with the film so much to the point where I bought the book and was like, I need to start reading it now. I've only read 4 chapters, And then I will say I was in a bit of a life slump. I was a bit of a reading slump. I wouldn't say reading slump, life slump, more like I am kind of now. Oh my god. And I was like, you know what? I can't read this right now, but I do want to read it this year, so that is on my list. Then, if there's no surprise, A Court of Silver Flames is on there. Now, I'm hoping to be reading A Court of Frost and Starlight between the next few days, but whilst I'm also reading Amelia Parks. However, I do want to read this book this year. Like, look how chunky it is, and I will probably read this alongside another book just because it is a chunky ass book. But also at the same point, I don't want to like pick up other books and I like just read it slowly. But again, if it takes me a while in a year to read it, I don't mind because it is a chunky book. But I'm excited, nervous. I've heard very mixed reviews about this book. I know it's not everyone's favourite. I know it's not about people who've not picked up because it's like it's based on Nesta's story. It's not Feyre's, and it's a third person. And what else? I just know it's not everyone's favourite. I've got a friend who I do Amjam with, and she loves Akawar, and she was like, it's okay. So, and her opinion usually is very high because like, she critiques it. So, yes, I want to read this one. I don't know where I'm putting these books, so I'll put them all in different places. We're going to start with this big pile and hope it doesn't all fall over. Okay, these books are interconnected because on my list is Unravel Me by Tara Murphy, the second actual big book. The actual book, second book of the Shadow series because we've got novellas, but I'm putting this in with it as well because I want to read Destroy Me before I read this one and then Fracture Me after I finish that one. So, yeah, I want to continue the Shadow series, but these two I want to definitely get to this year. So, fingers crossed. I really enjoyed the first book and I want to, like, get more into the world and see why everyone loves this series and literally treasures this series. So, because two of my favourite booktubers love the series, like, Alexa Ray and Ella Rose Reeves both love the series, and I'm like... Next one is Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is the second one to the It Happened One Summer. Now, I really enjoyed It Happened One Summer last year. It wasn't my favourite book of 2023. However, excuse me, I really enjoyed it, and I really want to try and see if I can read this one as well. I'm not gonna lie, I've not read much. I've only read one Tessa Bailey book, so, and I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of her books on my TBR cart, and I'm like, I've only read one of her books, so fingers crossed I like this one as much. This is based on Hannah, so Piper's sister, and Fox, who is the guy from the last book's best friend. I can't remember his name, but yeah, cannot wait to read it. I'm hoping to get to this year. Then we have a very popular book of last year, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I have really got into my hockey romance with the Off-Campus series. Last year I fell in love with the Off-Campus series. I read 3 of her books. 3 of those books. I was like obsessed. Like, I loved them and I cannot wait to finish them this year. Like, I plan to finish them this year. Just saying. However, I was like, I love a hockey romance. I really want to read this book. I've had it on my TBR cart since about February, March time last year, and it's to a point where I need to read it. And I'm hoping to read it for a specific video again coming up very soon. But like, I need to like whittle it down because I've got like 4 or 5 books on the list for that video, and I cannot be reading 4 or 5 books. I don't have time. Next we have The Goal, the 4th book in the Off-Campus series. This is Tucker's book, and Sabrina. And as far as I'm aware, Sabrina was brought up several times in other books, but if you've read the score, the end of the book leaves on a bit of a cliffhanger for Tucker, which makes me very excited for this book, and I cannot wait. So I'm nervous but excited to get into this one. I will be getting into it at some point this year. It's one of those ones that like very soon because I loved the first 3, and when I start reading them, I just don't want to put these ones down. So I feel like these are the ones that I'm going to be using if I do really get into a slump. I'll just be like, okay, we're just going to pick it out. Can I do book up? Because they're good. And I'm really excited to read Tucker's story. So next we have Hot House Flower by Kristen Becca-Ritchie. If you've not been following my channel for the last year, you wouldn't know, but I started the Addicted / Callway Sisters series last year, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Like, I read the first 4 books in a year, and I loved it, and I cannot wait to continue this series. And this is Ryke and Daisy's story, and I just cannot wait to read their story and to find out about their relationship and how it works, because it is an age gap, and that's all I'll say, but I cannot wait. And I also love this cover. Like, look how gorgeous. Then we have one that has been on my TBR since the beginning of 2023. Can we guess what it is? It's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I have actually, like, I feel like I've read that chapter now. I have read some of it. It's just one of those ones that I'm kind of reading alongside other books. And I was going to do a video this year where I read all the Harry Potter books. That's not going to happen. I'll be honest with you, it's not going to happen. But I do hope to at least try and read this book or finish this book. I watched a video where someone read all of the Harry Potter books, and then she did that, and I was like, you know what, now I really want to read the Harry Potter books. But I need to at least read one. I have it a goal, one of my goals this year on my reading channels is to read a Harry Potter book. So this one is the one I want to complete. Next one is another one that also was like broke the internet last year, alongside The Time of Fourth Wing. It's Divine Rivals. I need to read this, like, very soon. Like, very, very soon. Because I read Fourth Wing last year in the height of its, like, hype, but when it's, like, not as hyped anymore. But it was still hyped, but, like, most people have read it. The whole world and existence have read this book as far as I'm aware, and I still need to read it. So, this is on my list. I'm excited. I'm growing to love this cover. I wanted the American cover, which just has the title and a lot, but I'm growing to love this cover, so it's okay. And I cannot wait to give this a read and find out why everyone loves it so much. Then we have Say You Swear. I've heard so many good things about this book, and from what I remember, this was Destiny Sidwell's first 5-star read of 2023, I think, if I'm remembering it rightly, but it has been a while, so I might be wrong. But I remember her loving this book, and it's a floppy book, big writing. I really can't wait to read it, and I want to find out why people love this book. So I cannot wait. Then we have can't pick it up. Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Again, another thick, chunky book, quite heavy. Could probably knock someone out with this book. It's like a brick. I have also got it on Kindle. Same with Say You Swear. I think Say You Swear's on Kindle. I don't know. But I love. I've not read it. Am I okay? Like, am I okay? I am excited to read this book. I've heard so many good things about this series, and I cannot wait to get into it to find out why everyone loves it, so that I can understand. So, we've got a few more books left, just a few. We've got The Spanish Love Deception. Now this is the one book that if I don't read this year, it is getting unhauled. And I say this because I've had this book on my TBR cart since 2022. And I keep saying I'm going to read it. I pick it up, look at it, go, oh maybe, and I'm like, no, actually I'm not going to do that. And I can't keep doing that. So I'm going to try and read it this year. If I don't read it this year, then it is getting unhauled. Which is kind of sad because I've got 2 of our other books, and I don't really want to like keep the American Roommate Experiment if I don't read this one, because I know they're kind of interconnected. The long game is different, but yeah. Now we have our final few. We'll do the physical ones and then I'll do the Kindle ones because it's just easier. I'm going to start with this one because again this has been on my TBR for ages and I need to read it because I love Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I want to read Carrie Soto's back. I want to get through it. I've heard good things about it and hopefully I can get into it. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Then we have Twisted by Emily McIntyre. This is the one before Crossed, which I've already shown you today. I want to read this one. This is based off of Aladdin and one of my favourite Disney films. So yeah, I cannot wait to read this one. Heard like the first half is a bit meh, second half gets better. So fingers crossed. I haven't read one of these books since Wretched, and Wretched really disappointed me. So then we have The Assassin's Blade, which is the first book, and it's like novellas as far as I'm aware, in the Throne of Glass series. I'm pretty sure I need to Google the recommended reading order for this, but I'm pretty sure this is the recommended one to start with. So, I might message someone or find out on Instagram, but I think this is the recommended one to start with. I bought the Throne of Glasses with my Christmas money last year, as a little treat to myself, because I've been saying all year I want it, and I said it was in my wish list since the beginning of 2023, and I said at the beginning of 2023 to myself, if I still want it at the end of the year, I will get it as a Christmas present. And I did still want it, no surprise. But the only reason I didn't get it at the beginning of the year because I hadn't read Akatar at that point, and I was like, if I don't like Akatar, then I'm not going to like this, so what's the point? But honestly, I'm so happy I have this series. I have the full box set, so I was so tempted to do like only get one book at a time, but I was like, no, because then that's going to cost more. And it was on a sale for like £51 from £70 to £51. I was like, I'm going to get it while it's on a sale. I'm not stupid. But yeah, so I'm excited. And then finally we have, is it 2 or 3 on my Kindle that I want to read. I'm going to turn my Kindle on for no apparent reason. First one is Collided, which is the second book in the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. This book is, I read Throttled in like October time, and I finished it in my 24-hour reading that I successfully did. I think it was in November, I can't remember. And I loved it. Loved it. It was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for the second one. Another one is Behind the Net. Behind the Net is by Stephanie Archer. Oh, that's what I think it's Stephanie Archer. I just looked at it as well. Yeah, Stephanie Archer. So one of my favourite booktubers, Ellen Catherine, she read it in her recent 24 hours of reading, and she literally loved it, and like that's high praise from her, and I'm like, I really want to read it. I've heard good things about it from every like on Bookstagram. I've seen everyone rate it high ratings, so I obviously want to give it a go. And then finally, I want to read Forget Me Not by Jess Taylor. This is the first book in the Blossoming Hearts series that she's got, and I got gifted the ARC for it. Got gifted the ARC for Blazing Stars back in November. Was it November? Yeah, it was November. It was November. And I fell in love with that book. Like, I was obsessed with that book. I read it in a day. I honestly cannot tell you how much I love that book so much, and I literally love it. So I'm like, I want to reread. I need to read the first 2. So that's the first one in that series, and I need to read it this year. So that is the plan. But yeah, these are all the books that I want to read in 2024. But I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below. Please subscribe, and I will see you again very soon with another video.